Good day, good day, good day, everyone. Welcome to Morning Sip with Red Melissa. I am Red Melissa, and this is SIP, which stands for Spirit in Practice, where we practice because practice makes progress. Mm, yes, it does. Yes, it does. So I hope everyone is doing well. Let me put up my banner. There we go. Good day, Shay Love. I hope you're doing well. Good day, everyone joining in. Hey, Margaretta, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. All right, y'all. We are in a new series that we started yesterday. And let me just start by sharing something, Margaretta. So, good day, Pamela. It's good to see you. So let me start with this. So our series is Doom Strolling. Doom Strolling. So Bonnie, this is on purpose. I know it's called Doom Strolling, but I'm calling it Doom Strolling. That's what I'm calling it. And so it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I just like the imagery of strolling more than strolling. That's just me. So you could substitute doom strolling for doom strolling or doom strolling for doom scrolling, whatever resonates more with you. You know, I love words and I love the imagery of words as well. And so doom strolling just does something for me. It's kind of like when I say that sometimes we have to go gather ourselves because we go wandering off. That's how I see doom strolling. We stroll off into the land of doom through our devices and through other means and mechanisms. So, our series this week is Doom Strolling. So, let me share again what Doom Strolling means. It is the habitual, excessive consumption of negative news or social media content, often leading to heightened anxiety, depression, and physical symptoms like insomnia and headaches. It's driven by a psychological need for safety through information and a negativity bias in media. People doom stroll to feel prepared for threats. It is commonly triggered by worldwide crisis and political instability, causing a vicious cycle of negativity. So, we talked yesterday about some of the techniques we can use to stop or lessen our habit of doom strolling along, time just going, mind just racing, heart just beating faster, all of the things when we go for a stroll with doom. So, check out yesterday's show to hear what some of those tips are to lessen that habit. So today I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about your brain on doom strolling. What happens to our brain with this habit of doom strolling? So I was doing some research and I want to share some of the things that I found. So again, this isn't inclusive of everything. It's not inclusive of everything. It's just a sip, y'all. It's just a sip. So if you're curious and you want to go and explore more information, please do so and share. So one of the things that doom strolling does is it heightens the brain's threat response system. So it heightens the brain's threat response system. So you're on high alert, right? You're on high alert. It activates a part of our brain called the amygdala, right? So that's the part of the brain that's responsible for detecting danger, right? So when we are repeatedly exposing ourselves to negativity, negative news, negative posts, negative reels, negative, it keeps our amygdala on high alert, right? And it cultivates a feeling of anxiety, irritability, feeling like you're on edge, feeling unsettled, feeling like, hyper vigilant, right? And this is also doing quite a job on our nervous system. So our amygdala is activated. That fear, that fight flight response, right? That instinctual fight, flight, freeze, fawn, whatever gets activated and it stays on high alert. So we could start to heighten ordinary things can seem more threatening than they really are because we have activated our amygdala to the point that it's not healthy or safe for us. It also creates a stress hormone loop. So the loop is between two hormones, cortisol, which we know is the stress hormone, and adrenaline. So we know how we feel hyped up on adrenaline, how we feel like when we exercise or we go for a nice run, we get our adrenaline, we get that dose of adrenaline. It feels really good, right? So it causes this loop between the two: stress, hype, stress, hype, hype, stress, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And this can make you feel, if you continue, exhausted, right? So you can have difficulty relaxing, you can have trouble sleeping, you can even cause your heart rate to increase. It can weaken your immune system. You could feel fatigue, and it can start you down the road of burnout. It is exhausting. How do you feel after you spent a couple of hours doom strolling on social media? Post after post after post of negativity. So this is why doom strolling feels exhausting, even though you're not physically doing anything. You're just like using some fingers, right? But what's going on in your brain is not just this. It's like this. What is happening? You're on hyper alert, right? So this dopamine loop between our cortisol hormone and our adrenaline, we're now in this loop, right? So that loop of dopamine, right? And dopamine is also a hormone that feels good, right? So it hooks the brain's reward system. Our dopamine hormone is our brain's reward system. We get a little right? We get a little and it feels good. So I want to share this, something that I found online. So platforms are designed to keep us strolling. It's designed that way. The brain's rewards pathways releases tiny hits of dopamine as you start to search for something new. Useful information. This is how we get ourselves going. We think this information is useful, right? We want to be updated because the brain doesn't like uncertainty. So if we have ourselves believing that having the latest information is going to increase our certainty in a time of uncertainty, we're going to keep going, right? We're going to keep going. It doesn't matter that it's negative. Doesn't matter that the updates are negative. It's still feeding that dopamine hit that we are getting. So now we have this mixture of fear-based content, and the brain enters a reward threat cycle. Now, who wants that? Who wants a reward threat cycle looping around and around? But this is what's occurring through this habit of doom strolling along, doom strolling, and doom strolling, right? This is what's happening. So, and it's designed to keep us looped in. This is not by accident. This is by design. Yes, this is by design. So we start thinking, well, maybe the next post, has anyone done this? Maybe the next post will explain ... right? Maybe the next post will be something even better, right? Maybe if I go to this page, that page reference, I'll have the information that I need. And we could just keep strolling and strolling and strolling along. And before you know it, it is 2 a.m. in the morning and you are set to get up at 7. And you spend hours. So this is this is a public service. This is a public service announcement, right? It's not to shame or make anyone feel guilty or bad or any of that. It's just to heighten our awareness so that we can make more informed decisions about how we're spending our time, how we're treating our body physically, our brains, our nervous system, the impact of these oftentimes unconscious choices that we are making because it's just a habit. It's just a habit. So our brain keeps looking for relief, right? We keep strolling and strolling and strolling along, but instead of getting relief, it's getting more stressed out. It's getting more stressed out. So this level of stress impairs our cognitive function. It wears on us, right? Because this high stress floods the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of our brain that is responsible for executive decision making. It's the part of our brain that is where we focus. It's the part of our brain that regulates our emotions. It's the part of the brain that is the problem-solving part of the brain. So this stress is flooding our prefrontal cortex, flooding it. And we can't think straight. We feel more overwhelmed. So when we're overloaded with negative input, the prefrontal cortex of our brain starts to slow down, making it harder to make the decision to stop strolling. Do you see the connection? We want to stop, right? How many of us has done this? We say, okay, just 5 more minutes. We might even set a timer, just 5 more minutes. And then I'm going to put this phone down. I'm going to stop scrolling. I'm going to stop. And then it's a half an hour. And then you still saying to yourself, okay. 5 more minutes, right? What is happening is the stress hormone has basically overflowed over flooded your prefrontal cortex, the decision part of your brain, and is impacted, and it makes it more difficult to make those decisions, to focus, to think clearly, to shift our attention, and to regulate our emotions. We're all hyped up now, but not in a good way, in a stressful way, right? It increases anxiety, depression, and it stimulates that catastrophe thinking. Who wants that? Who wants that? So I got very curious about that, about this whole situation with doom strolling and doom strolling. And mainly because I was talking to a young person the other day, and they were telling me that they are never without their phone. Like, they sleep in the bed with their phone. They are never without their phone. And they are mainly on TikTok. Young person, I said, they're mainly on TikTok, a little bit of Instagram. And I asked her, so like, what are you mainly seeing? And most of the things that she is seeing has to do with fashion, appearance. Let's just call it your appearance. And of course, she is in deep comparison with what she is seeing on the screen. And it's very concerning. Her mom is very concerned about this as well. And so I've been talking to the young woman and working with her to start to shift this habit that her generation was born into. I asked her mother how old her daughter was when she got her a cell phone. You know how old her daughter was? And again, I'm sharing this. I told my friend I was going to share this, and she was like, please do, because maybe this will help another parent with their children. She was 7 years old when she got her first cell phone. 7. And my friend was telling me she remembers reading an article by, she doesn't recall if it was Steve Jobs. She thinks it was Steve Jobs, saying that they don't allow their children to have cell phones. The makers of this technology don't allow their children to have cell phones. So that tells us a lot, right? So her daughter, like many of us, have difficulty sleeping, racing thoughts. The sleep quality is very low, and it's very difficult to relax. So one of the things I'm doing with this young woman is we're just doing some mindfulness exercises, just to slow things down for her, because in her mind, everything is like this. Everything is like going 100 miles per hour. So I'm just helping her to slow things down mindfully. And I'm grateful she is so open and receptive to this, because her desire is to teach and show her friends in her age group, because she's very concerned about how her generation is so addicted to strolling and comparing. Because that's the other element of this, right? It's not just the strolling, it's also the comparing that's happening with people, especially our young people, comparing themselves to what they see, not realizing that these celebrities or whomever have a whole squad of people helping them to look the way that they do. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but I hope you understand the point that I'm trying to make here, so that we can start to make healthier, more loving and kind choices for ourselves so that we are not at a heightened state of alertness all the time. Our nervous system needs to be calm. It needs peace. And doom strolling does the complete opposite of that. All right. So tomorrow we're going to continue talking about this. I want to provide some more tips that we can use for ourselves and share with others if you feel so inclined to. All right. All right, y'all. So let me check in and then we'll get into some joy news. Good day, Ron. It's good to see you. Pamela said, thought so was strolling and scrolling. Yes, yes. Yes. And Ron says, agreed. More stress out impairs our cognitive function. Absolutely. So let's just take a breath. And that's one of the things we can do when we find ourselves in that loop. We can take a sacred pause, close our eyes, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and put the phone down. All right. Bonnie's asking, what about playing games on the phone? Oh, Bonnie. So, to me, I'll just say to me, I don't have any games on my phone because I found when I play games on my phone that it takes me away from things that are important to me. So does this, and I ask myself this question for many things. Does me spending time on this activity align with my quality, align with my intention, align with my priority for today? That's how I would respond to that question. There are some educational games that stimulate the brain, and all of that, wonderful. But again, set time limits. I know people who spend hours playing games on their phone. So it's another way to distract us from doing things that are in alignment with the desires of our heart. That's how I would respond to that, Bonnie. Hey, Maja, it's good to see you, love. Soda, take a sip. Stop, observe, detach, awake. Okay, I like that acronym. Stop, observe, detach, awake. Yes. Great, Bonnie. If there are some that are supposed to increase your memory, however, spending hours and hours, I wouldn't recommend that. Set a timer. Wonderful. All right, y'all. So I'm going to share one thing in joy news, and that is tomorrow is our first meditation with the full moon for 2026. So please join me tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right where you're watching me now. We will do a full spiritual practice of inspirational reading. I'll share a reading with you, inspirational journaling with meditation. I will guide you through a meditation. We will do some releasing, and we will do some other practice with our guided meditation. So please come. It's a wonderful way to nourish our brain, yeah, and to just go within and settle and center and anchor ourselves in the truth of who and whose we are. So join me tomorrow. That means no 10:30 a.m. sip. Sip is 8:30 p.m. tomorrow. Okay? Bring something to write with, something to write on. And that's all that you need. Okay? All right, y'all. So let's just pay attention. Just pay attention. Maybe you don't change anything, but you pay attention to how you are spending your time on your phone, doom strolling. Are you strolling down the road? Are you strolling down the road of doom? Just pay attention. Just pay attention. All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow evening, 8:30 p.m. for our full moon meditation. Have a wonderful today. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and justice. We are living life in joy, connected to our yes.